students. I am your SSC teacher, Mrs. Manju Sharma, and today we are going to start our new chapter of class 9th in Geography, chapter 5, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. Children, when we observe around ourselves, we see different types of trees, bushes, grasses, birds in the field, and parks. And we also see that they are not similar and there are so many variations. So, students, India is a big country, and being a vast country, we can imagine that the type of bioforms available throughout the country. Our country, India, is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world with about 47,000 plant species. In India occupies 10th place in the world and 4th in Asia in plant diversity. There are about 15,000 flowering plants in India, which account for 6% in the world. India also has approximately 90,000 species of animals as well as a rich variety of fish in its fresh and marine water. If we talk about natural vegetation, it means that natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. This is termed as virgin vegetation also. The term flora is used to denote plants of a particular region or period, and just like this, the species of animals are referred to as fauna. This huge diversity in flora and fauna kingdom is due to the so many factors like relief. In relief, we will study about land. Land affects the natural vegetation directly and indirectly. So we have different type of vegetation in mountain, plateaus and plain areas, or in dry and wet regions. Next is soil. The soil also vary over space. Different types of soil provide basis for different types of vegetation. The sandy soils of the desert support cactus and thorny bushes, while wet marshy deltic soils support mangroves and deltic vegetation. The next factor is climate. And climate is temperature. The character and extent of vegetation are mainly determined by temperature along with humidity in the air, precipitation and soil. On the slope of the Himalayas and the hills of the peninsula above the height of 950 meters, the fall in the temperature affect the types of vegetation and its growth. Next is photoperiod. Photoperiod, sunlight. The variation in duration of sunlight at different places is due to differences in latitude, altitude, seasons, and duration of the day. Due to longer duration of sunlight, trees grow faster in summer. Next is precipitation. Precipitation in India, almost the entire rainfall is brought in by the advancing southwest monsoon, June to September, and retreating northeast monsoon. Areas of heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation as compared to other areas of less rainfall. And now we will learn what is ecosystem. Ecosystem, all the plants and animals in an area are interdependent and interrelated to each other in their physical environment, thus forming an ecosystem. Human beings are also an integral part on an ecosystem, and that are very large ecosystem on land having distinct type of vegetation and animals life is called biome. The biomes are identified on the basis of plants. Now the different types of vegetation. There are 5 types of vegetation in India: tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest and scrubs, mountain forest, mangrove forest, etc. First of all, we will know about tropical evergreen forest. Tropical evergreen forests are restricted to heavy rainfall area. They are at their best in areas having more than 200 centimeter of rainfall with a short dry season. And some of the commercial important trees of this forest are ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber and cinchona. The next is tropical deciduous forest. Tropical deciduous forest is spread over the region receiving rainfall between 200 centimeter and 70 centimeters. Trees of this forest type shed their leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks in dry summer. The next is thorn forest and scrubs. In region with less than 70 centimeter rainfall, the natural vegetation consists of thorny bushes and bushes. This type of vegetation is found in the northwest part of the country. Next is mountain forest. In mountainous area, the decrease in temperature with increasing altitude leads to the corresponding changes in natural vegetation. As such, there is a succession of natural vegetation belts in the same order as we see from the tropical to the tundra region. The wet temperate type of forest are found between a height of 1000 to 2000 meters. And ultimately, through shrubs and scrubs, they merge into alpine grassland. These are used extensively for grazing by nomadic tribes like Gujars and Bakarwals. At higher altitude, mosses and lichens form part of tundra vegetation. The next is mangrove forest. The mangrove tidal forests are found in the areas of coastal influenced by tides, mud, and slit get accumulated on such coast. Dense mangrove are the common varieties with roots of the plants submerged under water. Now we will know about the wildlife of India. Like its flora, India is also rich in its fauna. It has approximately 90,000 of animal species. The country has about 2,000 species of birds. They constitute 13% of the world's total. There are 2,546 species of fish, which account for nearly 12% of the world's stock. It also shares between 5 and 8% of the world's amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. India is only the country in the world that has both tigers and lions. The natural habitat of the Indian lion is the Gir forest in Gujarat. Tigers are found in the forest of Madhya Pradesh, the Sundarbans of West Bengal, and the Himalayan region. The Himalayas harbor a hardy range of animals which survive in extreme cold. Ladakh freezing high altitudes are a home to yak, the shaggy horned wild ox weighing around 1 ton, the Tibetan antelope. We have selected our crops from a biodiverse environment, that is from the reserve of edible plants. We also experimented and selected many medicinal plants. The animals were selected from large stock provided by nature as milch animal. They also provided as drought power, transportation, meat, eggs. The fish provide nutritive food. So the wildlife of any country is very important for our life. The main cause for the major threat to the nature are hunting by greedy hunters for commercial purposes, pollution due to chemical and industrial waste, acid deposit, introduction of alien species, and reckless cutting of forest. So, to protect the flora and fauna of the country, our government has taken so many steps. First, 14 biosphere reserves have been set up in the country to protect flora and fauna. Four out of these, the Sundarbans in the West Bengal, Nanda Devi in Uttarakhand, the Gulf of Mannar in Tamil Nadu, and the Nilgiris, Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Financial and technical assistance is provided to many biotechnical gardens by the government since 1992. Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian Bastard, and many other eco-developmental projects have been introduced by our government. 89 national parks, 490 wildlife sanctuaries, and geological gardens are set up to take care of natural heritage. All of us must realize the importance of the natural ecosystem for our own survival. It is possible if indiscriminate destruction of natural environment is put to an immediate end, and it is our duty to protect our wildlife and our natural vegetation as much as we can. Goodbye, students. Now our chapter is completed.